Ever wonder what's actually powering your Netflix stream, your company's entire database, or that AI chatbot you were just messing with? It's the cloud. And right now, the cloud is a digital battlefield. We're talking about a high-stakes war between tech giants, and it's one of the biggest stories in business. So let's break down who's winning the fight to rule the digital sky.
To get a sense of just how big this war is, just look at this number. We're talking over $723 billion. That's the projected size of the global cloud market by 2025. This isn't just another tech market. It's become a fundamental pillar of the entire modern economy. And, you guessed it, the fight for control is absolutely fierce.
And while a lot of companies would love a piece of that massive pie, this is pretty much a three-horse race. You've got Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. Together, they control a staggering 63% of the entire market. Everyone else, well, they're left fighting for the scraps.
So, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to size up the big three. Then, we'll get into the specifics, the real battlegrounds. Who's actually winning the race for AI and hybrid cloud? After that, we'll check out some of the rising challengers who are really shaking things up. And finally, we'll look ahead to where this war is going next.
All right, let's dive right in and look at the current state of play. And just to be clear, this isn't some static race. It's a super dynamic battle where momentum is shifting all the time.
So here's the lay of the land as of mid-2025. Amazon's AWS is still the undisputed king, holding a solid 30% of the market. I mean, they were there first, and they built this incredibly mature ecosystem. Microsoft Azure is a really strong number 2, sitting at 20%. And then you have Google Cloud, which is actually the fastest grower of the bunch, now up to 13%.
But here's where it gets really interesting. There's this kind of paradox happening. Even though AWS is still growing and raking in billions, its actual share of the market is slowly shrinking. Why? Well, it's because Azure, and especially Google Cloud, are growing even faster. They're grabbing a huge slice of all the new business, especially the stuff being driven by this massive AI boom. So here's the crucial takeaway. That overall market share number, it really doesn't tell the full story. To understand what's really going on in this competition, you have to zoom in and see who's winning in the specific areas that businesses care about the most right now.
And let me tell you, there is no bigger battleground today than artificial intelligence. It's a total showdown. On one side, you've got Google Cloud, which most experts agree is the technical leader. Their Vertex AI platform, their native Gemini models, they just have a clear edge when it comes to pure data science. But on the other side, you have Microsoft Azure, which is an absolute powerhouse in getting companies to actually use the tech, mainly thanks to that brilliant strategic partnership with OpenAI. It puts those cutting-edge models right into the tools that businesses are already using every single day.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Industry analysts like Gartner have put their stamp on it. They officially named Google a leader for its data science and machine learning platforms. That's a huge validation of their reputation for being the best in the AI space from a technical standpoint.
Okay, let's switch gears to the next huge battleground, hybrid cloud. This is all about companies that need to run some stuff in their own data centers and some stuff in the public cloud. And in this arena, Microsoft Azure is the clear winner. Their killer app is something called Azure Arc. Think of it like a single dashboard, a unified control plane that lets you manage all your systems, no matter where they live. AWS has an answer with Outposts, which is more about stretching the AWS cloud into your building. It's powerful, for sure, but it's just not as flexible if you're using more than one provider.
And make no mistake, hybrid cloud isn't some niche market. It is the future of enterprise IT. By 2027, it's estimated that a whopping 90% of all organizations will be running a hybrid strategy. This makes Azure's dominance here a massive, massive strategic advantage.
So, to put a really fine point on it, this is Azure's trump card. We're living in a world where more and more companies are intentionally using multiple clouds to avoid getting locked into one vendor. And Azure has played this perfectly. They've positioned themselves not just a cloud, but as the manager of all the clouds. It's just a brilliant strategic move.
So, what does this all mean for you, practically speaking? Well, it kind of breaks down like this. If you just need the absolute widest variety of services, or if you're in retail, AWS is probably still your default choice. If you're a big company that's already deep in the Microsoft world, or if you need a really strong hybrid strategy, Azure is your best bet.
And if your main goal is to be on the bleeding edge of AI and do massive data analytics, well, Google Cloud just offers the most powerful toolkit.
But hold on, the story doesn't stop with the big three. Remember that other 37% of the market? That slice of the pie is home to a really fascinating ecosystem of specialized challengers, and they're finding a ton of success by attacking the giants right where they're weakest. So here are a few of the key players to watch. You've got Oracle, which is carving out a really smart niche with its high-performance databases, something legacy companies just can't live without. Then there's Alibaba Cloud, which completely dominates the massive Asia-Pacific market. And then you have these new players, like CoreWeave, who are built for one thing and one thing only, running AI workloads, better and cheaper than anyone else.
This actually brings us to a new term that you're going to start hearing a lot more: neoclouds. These guys aren't trying to be everything to everyone like the big three are. Nope, they are laser-focused. They provide specialized, hyper-optimized infrastructure just for the insane demands of AI. And they're proving that for certain jobs, a specialist can run circles around a generalist.
I mean, just get a load of this claim from CoreWeave. For specific AI training tasks, they're not just saying they're a little bit better, they're claiming to be up to 35 times faster and 80% less expensive. That is the kind of disruption that forces the entire market to sit up and take notice. It really shows a potential crack in the hyperscalers' armor.
So, with all this disruption happening, where is the cloud market actually going? Let's zoom out one more time and look at the big picture trends that are going to define the next era of this competition. First, you have to understand the sheer scale of the investment here. The big three are on track to spend a combined $240 billion a year. A year! Most of that is going into data centers and specialized AI hardware. This is a colossal bet on the future, and it's almost entirely being driven by the world's insatiable demand for AI.
And this investment really shows how the game itself has evolved. In the past, it was all a race to build the biggest data centers and just offer the lowest price. Today, like we've been talking about, it's all about who has the best AI platform. But the future? That's shaping up to be a battle fought on two new fronts: specialized industry-specific vertical clouds and the tools to manage the growing complexity of using multiple clouds all at once.
So the key things to watch for in the future are these. First, the AI arms race is really just getting started. It's becoming a war for talent, for chips, and even for electricity. Second, using multiple clouds isn't the exception anymore, it's becoming the norm. And third, keep an eye on these vertical clouds for specific industries like healthcare or finance. They offer amazing convenience, but they also create a powerful new kind of vendor lock-in that's based on your workflow, not just your data.
Which really leaves us with this final big question. As AI continues to completely reshape our digital world, is the future of the cloud going to belong to the giants who can afford to spend hundreds of billions of dollars, or will it be captured by the nimble, hyper-focused specialists who can just do one thing better than absolutely anyone else? The next few years are going to be fun to watch.